address.
Sure.
So, fabulous Friday to one and all. July 17th is the 198th day of the year. Before we start the session, we have an ice-breaking session to begin this brainstorming session of this wonderful webinar. Any student or any faculty or even the dynamic speaker can quickly go to the chat box and type what is a special day today, and or anybody's birthday of a celebrity, or what day has been celebrated today. Anybody can kindly guess and quickly go to the chat box and type, and you have, and for the correct answer you have a lockdown gift hamper worth of rupees 2020 will be sent to you through the check.
That's interesting. Back in our days in college, we never had such prizes for answering it right.
Yes, sir. The right answer we will send you the gift hamper. Any guesses? Any guesses from the student? Okay, and you have a special video will be played now. From that you will understand what is the national day is being celebrated on this day. May I request somebody type the answer? Oh, congratulations, and we have to definitely give a big round of applause to Mr. Siddharth Ghosh. Okay, he has put World Emoji Day. Lovely, lovely, excellent. We have to give him a big round of applause. Okay, congratulations, and we will definitely send you a gift hamper. Kindly send us the address in the chat box so that we will do. And SRM IHM, ECAT Tangal City Campus congratulate you. And somebody's also typed a World Lottery Day. But today we have taken as World Emoji Day on this webinar because our dynamic speaker is a technocrat. So that without emoji, nobody is there. Anything we will do that. And may I request my teaching associate, Mr. Teshta S. Kumar, to present a small video on the World Emoji Day. Thank you for the great responses. Play. Wish you all a happy World Emoji Day. A Japanese expression roughly means picture word.
So were you able to see the screen?
I think I was able to see only your files.
Oh,
okay.
We'll
We'll play it again.
No worries. Yeah, please go ahead.
Is it still not visible, sir?
Still not visible, ma'am. I think you'll have to share the screen which is playing the video.
Okay, no, because I am on screen sharing.
Okay.
Now was it visible, sir?
No, ma'am, it's fine. I think I'll proceed with my presentation.
1 minute.
Sure.
1 minute. With this note, each day offers us the gift of being a special occasion. If we can simply learn that as well as giving, it is blessed to receive with grace and a grateful heart. So on behalf of the SRM Institute of Hotel Management, Ekatatangal City Campus, I deem it a great honor and privilege to welcome one and all on our 7th webinar on the topic, Fundamentals of Food Service Design and Facility Planning. And thank each and every one of you for coming. I am David Isaac, head of the department and your today's moderator. A few words about the SRM group and our institute. SRM Institute of Hotel Management, a division of Sri Ramaswamy Memorial Group, SRM Group of Educational Institution for Higher Learning. SRM IHM is a renowned network of educational institutions dedicated to providing the highest level of hospitality programs. The SRM group focuses on world-class infrastructure. SRM combines innovations and creativity with the tradition through its craft course, diplomas, bachelor's, and master's degree. Through our faculty of SRM Institute of Hotel Management and the industry professionals, SRM IHM applies its distinctive teaching methodology where students gain experience through hands-on learning. Our students strive for successful career in a wide varieties of fields. Our institute is partnered with Ramada Plaza Ginti, which supports the institute by lending its expertise in conducting the workshop, seminar, and provides other support from the hotels. Tie up with leading hotel chains for hands-on training and real-time exposure to the hospitality industry. Well-equipped state-of-the-art kitchen and bakery for the contemporary learning experience in culinary arts and bakery, meeting specialized training needs of the students at par with the industry standards. Our institute has been consistently ranked as the most preferred hotel management institute award by Asokam in the year 2020. We are very proud members of Indian Federation of Culinary Association, IFCA, and World Association of Chefs Society, WACS, and we are also proud to be the member of South Indian Culinary Association, SICA. In this way, I feel proud to hearty welcome and introduce to this dynamic speaker, Mr. Rahool K. Talwar, founder, director, Rethinking Hospitality Private Limited, principal consultant, the hotel and restaurant facility planning, entrepreneur, technocrat, certified hospitality trainer. So for his kind acceptance of our invitation. At this great juncture, I also take pleasure in thanking Chef A. Somasundaram, Regional Sales Manager, Tamil Nadu, Rational Internationals India Private Limited, for bringing such a lovely dynamic speaker on this virtual screen for the city campus. On behalf of our institute, we like to thank Mr. Chef Somu at this juncture.
Thank you, Chef.
And Rahool K. Talwar is a founder director of Rethinking Hospitality Private Limited. Mr. Rahool holds a graduation degree in hospitality and hotel administration from a prestigious institute called IHM Taramani, Chennai, and a post-graduation diploma in business administration from Symbiosis, Pune. He is also a certified hospitality trainer from the National Council of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Ministry of Tourism and Government of India. Rahool has over a decade and a half experience with an expertise in facility planning, operational manager, and organizational strategy, process implementation, and financial management. After a brief stint in academics and marketing, he now Now as a director at the Rethinking Hospitality Private Limited, which is an hospitality consulting company. He also operates as a principal consultant at the Hotel and Restaurant Facility Planner, which has further broadened the spectrum of understanding of the hotel and hospitality profession. Rahul K. Talwar is also associated with multiple food service design firms in India like the Hotel and Restaurant Facility Planner, Peacock Group, and his professional capacities has contributed to large industrial projects across India in the past and the currently. A seasoned professional, he has had several senior operationals and team led in hospitality, marketing, banking, and IT infrastructure sectors. He has done a wonderful signature projects for the following hotels and restaurants like Mithai Shop Nellore, and he has Bistro Story Chennai and Fusili Reasons Chennai, Pleasant Days Resorts Chennai, and MRLPL Nando's Cathedral Road Chennai, The Chinese Story Chennai, Naturals Groom India Saloon and Spa Private Limited Chennai, Red Box Chennai, Amsa Hadayat Chennai, Buhari Mount Road Chennai, T.O. Peacock Cochin, and MCTM Memorial Matriculation Higher Secondary School. No Strings Attached at Adayar, Awesome Chef, Mac Lunchbox, and international clients like TNS, Brass and Bronze Works Link. What the services offered by these his company are from food service design, food service planning, kitchen planning, technical services, laundry planning, food safety planning and design for house microbiology lab, operational and management consulting, designing and drafting of SOP, standard operating procedure, designing and drafting of the standard recipe, food costing and menu engineering, designing and implementation of MIS, Management Information System, marketing research and advisory consulting, it's market research, advisory on setting up operations in India, audits like mystery audits, health and hygiene audits, and they do a water audits, and finally learning and development training. Now today is with us to train the students to give an outline about what is today. At this juncture, we have a virtual gusting sound of applause on this virtual screen for today's guest. May I request Astasha to play a big round of virtual clap for today's dynamic speaker. The huge round of applause is being dedicated and to Mr. Rahul K. Talwar because we are on the virtual. So on behalf of the SRM Institute of Hotel Management, ECAT Tangal City Campus, gives a big round of applause and welcome you on the virtual scheme. And the day is yours, sir, and God bless you. I hope you will have a wonderful and enthralling session. Our Executive Director, Dr. D. Anthony Ashok of the Hotels and Hotel Management Institute will join us and will definitely bless this virtual round. And sir, now it is over to you, Mr. Rahul K. Talwar, the founder and director of Rethinking Hospitality Private Limited, sir. Wishing you all the best. I hope we have good takeaways of this webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, and for this wonderful warm welcome and the loud round of virtual applause. Quite interesting to see that Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just start with my session. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
And first and foremost, thank you so much for the lovely creative. And there we are. I've been introduced, so I'll skip these slides. We'll come directly to what we are here today for. We're going to be talking about fundamentals of food service design and facility planning. So as Mr. Isaac has introduced me, I am part of multiple design firms, two of which are Rethink Hospitality Private Limited and the Hotel and Restaurant Facility Planner. We provide services for a lot of our clients. So let's come to the topic, food service design. What exactly is food service design? Just a moment.
So you have to give the option of de-annotation. People seem to be annotating on your screen.
Yes, I'll take care of that. To the students who think that they're too smart, let me tell you, I can hack into your computers because I think he's not told you something about me. I'm a certified engineer from Microsoft and Cisco. And also from your very institution, as on cybersecurity and forensics. So yeah, that's just something you guys probably don't know about. Okay, let's come to. So you want to test my skills? So let's test my skills. There you go. Guys, been okay. So what is food service design? Any one of you can probably type your answer in the chat box before I actually go to what do you understand by food service or food service design? Anybody on the screen other than annotating? I hope you can also send in some answers. Okay. So food service is nothing but when food is being prepared anywhere outside your home. The terminology is called catering service or food service. And this could include colleges, this could include hospital cafeterias, this could include the basic that you're learning, hotel management, and also restaurant design or design in terms of large scale catering spaces. Now, what is design? Well, design is design is nothing but a plan or a specification for construction of a system, be it a process or a prototype or a product. So that is what design helps you in. Now, what is food service design? Or let me elaborate on the design bit itself. A design is usually having to satisfy a certain goal or a constraint and may take into account aesthetics, economic or socio-economic consideration, which is expected to interact with a certain environment. So when I talk about restaurant spaces, we would talk about how the tables are going to be placed. We would talk about how and where your dumb waiters are going to be coming in and things like that. So this could mean an architectural blueprint. And a person who makes these design is called a designer, which is generally a terminology used for professionals in this field. For example, I'm called a food service designer. Now let's come to the core areas. What are the stages of a project? Well, a client decides to build up a hotel or a hotel school or an IT project or a restaurant. So he gets in touch with the architect or a project management company or a brand to be associated with. Then a project brief with scope of work is planned, post which there is a tender which is floated for the consultants to get on board. After a technical evaluation of the consultants, they are taken on board, and then they go into the three main areas of design, which is the concept or schematic design, a design development phase, post that, and post that final design documentation, after which we go into the tendering stage for the project itself. Now, then there are various stages of construction and installation on the site. Then after these equipments are installed, there is a testing and commissioning which is done by the engineering team, post which it is handed over to the operations team to do their testing and commissioning. I mean, testing and observing and giving us their inputs in terms of any rectification that's required on site. Post which we go into a soft opening of the project itself. Now, what happens in a concept stage? In a concept stage, we review the design brief, we review the architectural drawings, and try to evolve sketches, rough sketches, which would be the best suited for the given requirements. After this, we also coordinate with architects, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, MEP stands for mechanical, electrical, plumbing consultants, and all other authorities who have jurisdiction over the project, understand and come to the way itself. After that, a preliminary area brief is done, where we give this total average connected load of an electricity or the water requirement, or the exhaust requirement for the day. Now, after this, a schematic specialization plan is prepared together with the architectural drawings. Now, after this is approved, which is called a design development stage. Now, in the design development stage, the schematic phase has gone through the basic approval, and then we start detailing the drawings, wherein we try to establish the detailed scope, the extent of areas, the systems, the components, the equipments, the elevation drawings, the section drawings. All this comes in this design development phase. Then a detailed specification for all the manufactured and custom fabricated equipments are also prepared for competitive tendering process. Then preparation of a final connection drawing for all MEP with all the necessary safety devices in place, like the shut-off valves and fire safety systems, etc., etc. A detailed floor plan with equipment, including mechanical and electrical rough details, are prepared. Post which we go into the final design documentation phase, wherein we typically or ideally prepare a 1:10 or 1:50 or 1:100, depending on the requirement. On an average, it's usually 1:50 scale approved design drawing with all the sections and elevations. And this goes into tendering process along with the bill of quantities that is usually prepared for the equipment. We also develop schedule of equipment, which is nothing but the bill of quantities, electrical and mechanical information such as power, water, gas, steam, exhaust requirements for each equipment. And then we total it to give the master load. And in accordance with the owner's directives on tender information, we also prepare the tender and compile the BOQs and we try to segregate custom fabricated and also imported equipments. Now let's watch a video here. I'll take you to the Emirates Flight Kitchen video, and let me run you through this.
Every year, 2 billion people take to the skies. That's more than the combined population of China, the USA and Russia. And they all have one thing in common. They're hungry and they need feeding. So how do they do it? 5 a.m. Dubai Airport. The overnight from London Heathrow has just finished unloading its passengers. In less than an hour, this plane has to be clean, fully stocked and ready to fly. It's time to go to work. This is the A380 Super Jumbo, the largest airliner in the world today. It can carry 644 passengers. But this big bird causes some big problems for the ground crew. The catering door is over 8 meters up, so custom-built high-loader trucks have been designed with hydraulic pumps hidden in the chassis, capable of lifting the entire rear section the height of an airliner in just 12 seconds. Before they can start stocking up for the next flight, there's a mountain of washing up and waste to deal with. Enough to fill 2 of the 20-ton high-loader trucks. Within minutes, the truck's payload of aluminium catering carts is being unloaded at the largest airline kitchen in the world. The 21,000 square metre Emirates Flight Catering Facility. Over 150 flights unload 5,500 carts here every day. That means over 30 million trays full of washing up rolling through these doors every year. This kitchen is cleaning up the leftovers of a small city every 24 hours. First, the fully laden carts are stowed in stainless steel racks to begin their journey on an electrically powered monorail system. Half railway, half high-tech fairground ride, the monorail stretches for 2.55 kilometers across 3 floors, the largest of which is the size of 50 basketball courts. This vast, sophisticated network has to operate like clockwork to get the thousands of carts emptied, clean and ready in just 25 minutes. Every movement of every hangar is tracked and controlled from a central computerized monitoring room. From this nerve center, the carts can be directed, just like trains on a railroad, to different destinations for storage, repair or reuse. all at the press of a button. First stop is the warewash area. To handle this industrial-scale mess, this part of the kitchen has to be more factory than restaurant. A line of workers empty all the carts by hand, packing the rubbish-filled trays one by one onto 160 meters of conveyor belts, which drag them away to their fates. This tsunami of washing up rolls into 3 17-meter-long industrial washing machines dirty and leaves sparkling clean just 6 minutes later. Between them, these machines can handle 1.5 million items every day. That's 15,000 loads for a full-size domestic dishwasher. On the other side, the belts roll on to the colossal storage facility, where the airline keeps enough dishes to serve the entire population of Las Vegas for lunch and dinner. Pottery in motion. While the dishes are done, the monorail brings the empty carts up 2 levels to the kitchens and food assembly area. At 6 a.m., a hot, spicy curry might be hard to take, but in a facility that caters to flights across every time zone, breakfast, lunch and dinner are all served round the clock. With more than 100 flights leaving every day, this building alone has to produce over 20 million meals every year, so there's no time to stop. Everything is hand-prepared by qualified chefs. It's restaurant food cooked on an industrial scale. This kitchen gets through 2.2 million eggs and 50 tons of lobster meat per year. Menus are planned according to the destination of each flight. From curries for Karachi to satay for Singapore, every meal is crafted by a team of chefs drawn from 47 nations and trained in the cuisine of 26 different countries. Everything that comes out of the kitchens is cooked, then taken by rolling conveyors through blast chillers. They flood the dishes with super chilled air, which absorbs the heat left in the food, preventing bacterial growth. From the belts, the food moves onto a massive battery of 47 giant fridges, where it's kept at a safe temperature of 3 degrees Celsius until it's ready to be assembled. Of course, a meal isn't proper airline food until it's on a plastic tray with a bread roll, cheese and crackers. The 3rd floor of this vast building is where the magic happens. In an assembly area the size of 2 football pitches, 145 women work in lines putting the meals together. If these ladies so much as stop for a moment, some unlucky passenger is going to miss out on butter or jam. It can take 30 of these carts packed with food to feed the passengers on an A380 for just 1 meal. An hour after landing, flight EK201 is being loaded, ready for takeoff to New York. These super long-range aircraft can fly for up to 18 hours without refueling. That means a load of 122 carts for a single flight. With more than 150 flights a day, getting through 30 million meals a year, this record-breaking facility is going to have to keep on cooking.
So I think you've got a small brief about what exactly happens. Not that you guys, being hotel management students, don't know about it. But having said that, I think this would have given you a much clearer picture of what goes into facility planning. Now, let's come to the next slide where we're going to be talking about the fundamentals. We're going to be talking about flow plans here. We're going to be talking about what are the factors to be considered during food service design. First and most important thing that we always say is location, location, and location. There is nothing else for your business to survive other than location. So that should be on your topmost priority. Then the profile of the guest that you're expecting to visit. If you're expecting a bhavan kind of a crowd, obviously you need to cater to that kind of crowd. Your design has to be that. If you're going to be looking at a high-end fine dining restaurant, you need to spruce up your interiors accordingly. If you're looking to a five-star hotel, then yes, things get even more enhanced. What is going to be the average number of guests that you're going to be expecting per day? What is the maximum number of guests that you're going to be expecting per day? Business patterns. Now, all these data is very important. So before you start on any project, the most important thing that you need to do is market survey. Whether it's a small restaurant or a mid-size hotel or a large-scale hotel, you need to do a market analysis to basically get answers to these three questions. Then the guest length of stay at food service operation. For example, what this is basically the time taken for a guest to consume a meal. That can be again derived from averages that you could probably visit similar kind of restaurants and try to time out a person's meal timing. What are going to be the financial constraints of operations, type of menu, choices of menu, amount of money that the customer is willing to spend for the meal. This again would come from your market study. You need to know the average spending capability of an individual who's coming to your and price your menu accordingly. Size of the building, this is usually dedicated to the size of the lot. I mean, in terms of what size you're going to be getting. The ratio of the kitchen to the room dining space. Now this ratio keeps changing. If it's a fine dining restaurant, it could be as much as 50-50. If it's going to be a quick service, again, the ratio varies. If it's going to be a casual dining, it could be a 30-70. So the ratio keeps changing. Now with COVID, obviously all these thumb rules of ratios have all gone for a toss because the ratios have to be re-evolved. I'm not touching COVID here. I think you've had enough of COVID topics in the last 4 months. So keeping that in mind, I will not touch COVID. What are the capacities of your equipment? What are the kind of seating that you're going to be having? And what are the kind of meals that you're going to be serving? Are you going to be serving lunch and dinner? You're going to be serving lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you're going to be serving only dinner, or all three. So that decides on the factors that also need to be considered. What is the goal of a food service design? Now, the basic goal of food service design is to balance the cost and income potential. That's the most important thing. What you invest versus what is the potential in that place. Make it appealing to attract guests. Allot space so that it's comfortable. Show your creativity. Chefs love to do that. So do F&B service staff. Be efficient in use of space and energy. That's very important. Sustainability is very important these days. You have to be safe as well as hygienic when I say sanitary there. And you need to have a perfect balance between practicality and appearance. You shouldn't be putting a dummy waiter on the way where a kitchen door is opening. No, that's not the right place for a dummy waiter to come in. That's the example of balancing between practicality and appearance. And the atmosphere needs to be pleasing and should complement the decor. People come in for decor, but primarily people come in for food. If your food is good and your service is consistent, you will have guests coming back to you time and again. This I can tell you out of my experience in this industry. If either one of these go off balance, then trust me, it's going to be a big challenge for you to stand back on your feet. So coming over to, so I'm going to be running you through a rough plan where I'm going to be telling you what exactly we've probably done. Let me rotate this. So I'm going to be showing one of my favorite projects that I've probably executed in the city. It was a landmark in itself. Uh, this is a Nando's at Cathedral Road. Now, let me take you to, so what you're going to be seeing here, or what you're fully seeing on your screen, is the basement plan, the ground floor plan, and the plan for mezzanine. I will quickly run you through it in terms of food service design so that you understand. Now here we had the receiving area where we had an elevator. So the material which would come in front would get offloaded here, come in through a door here, go through the elevator, come down straight here. It would go directly into the cold room or the dry store accordingly. Now the dry store was designed to cater to multiple Nando's outlets in the city. So this is basically going to be a central store. After that, we had a day store. We had a staff cafeteria. The day store was here. You have a day store, which is your typically that you have in a kitchen, even in a hotel. You have a day store where on the central store it's issued, you keep your stock in hand. So there's a cold room, there's a deep freezer here, there's a dry storage here. Again, this area is enclosed. You have a staff dining area. You have a staff changing room here. You have additional storage space. You have the manager's office and the entire IT and server room here. You also have the janitor's sink. Please tell me if I'm going too fast. You could probably chat in the type box if required, if you feel that I'm going too fast. And from here, the staircase would actually lead you to the ground floor, wherein you would come up here, and this is the entire back of the house area. It's an L-shaped thing. Now, this is the dishwash area. This in particular, you can see the dishwasher, you can see the under-counter dishwasher, you can see the dustbin, you can see the sink. You have your pot drying rack. You have a takeaway counter, which is dedicated for takeaway, and that's a door there for the takeaway. Now, coming over to the kitchen, this was a partial show kitchen. So this was the part which was visible to the guest. So live cooking was always visible to the guest. Okay. And this was back of the house in terms of, they had a very clear veg zone, non-veg zone, frying zone, and cooking zone. Okay, this is a non-veg cooking zone, and that's the veg cooking zone. So keeping the Indian sentiments in mind, we had a dedicated vegetarian setup. Now, there's a beverage station here. You can also find a tea and coffee machines and a soda fountain here. This is the pickup or the pass-through where you pick up the food. And this is the restaurant seating on the ground floor. There's a large table here. And this is the main entrance for the guests to come in. Okay. Now I'll take you to the mezzanine. So the staircase from your cooking island here the staff would use the staircase to take the food up and serve into the seating area on the mezzanine floor. We had a washroom on the mezzanine floor, a dedicated female washroom and a male washroom, and a janitor's closet, which was also the chemical to store the cleaning chemicals. We also had a hand wash station on the outside. And this is a soda fountain that you can see over here. So typically you come in, you sit down, you place your order, the order is punched into the micros, and then it goes into the respective area with the KOT. The staff there prepare the meal, it comes to the pickup counter. The chef there checks it, passes it on to the F&B staff, and then there he goes, comes and serves it to you wherever you're sitting down. Typical flow. Now, you got a brief run through in terms of the plan. Now, plan is just one aspect. When you come to detailed design phase, you need some technical data that is to be shown. And I'm going to be showing you some original equipment manufacturer OEM spec sheets and some fabricated equipment. When you give in a detailed design for an equipment to come through, how does it look? So when you talk about an OEM spec sheet, an OEM spec sheet typically, here is one from Electrolux. This is for a 3-door under counter. Now this basically tells you whether it's a freezer or a chiller. This is a freezer table. Okay, it says -22 to -15. The temperature can be adjusted. Okay, it's made out of stainless steel 304. This is the model number. The entire construction details are given on the right side. Optional accessories that you need to, if you wish to buy, you can buy. These are the technical data which is important when we do the drawings. Now, what is the size? What is the base height? What is the leg height? What is the entire length in total on top? What is the connection diagram? Okay, and the technical details in terms of what is the power that it's going to consume, what are the gas it's going to be using, what are the temperature it's going to be operating, and the other technical data shown here very clearly, which is highlighted on your screen. Okay, now when I go into, now this is scale equipment manufacturer. When we go into fabricated items, now fabricated items are required. In this case, you can actually see that we have got a very specialized counter. This is the isometric view on the left side, and on the right side, you're seeing the line diagram, which is the front view elevation and the top view that you can see right here. Okay, and in terms of what are the components that are going in, they are visible right here. As you can see now, this is a GN pan holder. There's a 4 GN pan holder here. There's a 2 1x3 GN pan holder here. So, and then there are spaces for, there's a shelf provided to keep your bowls and plates, so that as soon as your food is ready, you can start plating it right from there. And again, the entire height is being adjusted in such a way that it is a workable height. So when I talk about the height of this product, it's 700 plus 300, which is 1000 mm. Still high. We try to achieve 900, but in this case, this is very specialized equipment, and so we had to do with 1000 mm in terms of its height. Now I'll also show you an oven inlet table. Again, there is a dunnage rack here. Okay. This is an oven inlet table. This is again an isometric view on the left that you see. You can see an elevation in terms of side view, in terms of the front view, and in terms of the plan, in terms of top view. Now, all these drawings are in millimeter. I think that gave you a brief idea in terms of what technical data is looked into. Now, I will just show you some images of this project. You've probably seen the drawings at the moment, and I would want you to show the images of the finished project. This is the elevation of the front view of the building right from the start. I mean, right from the front. This is how we finish the counters. You can see it is seamless. Even the under-counter refrigerators have been tucked in properly. The AltoSham equipment units here are again concealed inside the master frame, so it's easier for the person to operate. The chopping block is given right next to it. This is a char grill. This is the pickup counter, so it has a heating element here. So this place remains hot, so your food remains hot when it's stationed here. Again, in terms of the condiments, everything is placed here. What you can see here is the frying equipment and the chip dump, and there's a freezer right next door to it, so that when you pull out your frozen chips, you can directly put it into the defat fryer, keep it in the chip dump, and then service it as and when the order comes. Now, in terms of the equipment, you can see this is the wedge prep zone. you can see that we've got color coding in terms of the tools that are being used. Now, this project was done 5 years ago in 2014-15. Now, you can see back then we took into consideration of the local, religious sentiments in mind. Keeping that in mind, we had a specific wedge zone with color-coded cutlery or tools, yellow for chicken, green for vegetarian. Again, in terms of the plates, I can show you the plates when I come across that. Everything was color-coded so that nothing goes wrong. And as you were introduced about Mr. Somo, this equipment comes from his company, Rational. This is a combi oven. This is the interior finish in terms of the project. You can see the live kitchen section over here and the billing counter right here, or right here. You can see the soda fountain. Now, it takes a lot of effort to build these places. It takes a lot of time, effort, coordination. So I'm going to be coming in, next slide, I'm going to be telling you about what exactly does a good design help you with. A good design facility is visually pleasing and it's also operationally effective. The kitchen is large enough to serve the number of seats in the dining. The kitchen equipment has a necessary, the kitchen has the necessary equipment to prepare the items on the menu. The capacity of the equipment is sufficient to handle the volume of business, and the color and lighting of the dining room are complementary and enhance the dining experience. This is very important. It has to be visually appealing. Now, what does a food service consultant typically do? Consultants provide expertise, knowledge, and experience to provide assistance that does not exist in-house, or providing resources that are not available at that time. So not everybody is specialized in this area because this requires a bent of engineering as well as operations, as well as good knowledge of MEP services. So typically a good consultant will be very knowledgeable in the food service field and in the field of hospitality. He provides specific expertise or specialized expertise. He's usually involved for a limited or a specified period of time. He brings in high degree of industry experience, advises and educates the client, works in favor of the client and not in favor of the suppliers, provides independent objective advice as and when required for that specific project, facilitates between the project team and the operations professional, food service operational professional, which is the F&B or the kitchen team. He acts as a bridge between the projects team and the operations team. And he stands by his design. So he advocates for the food service operations and enhances the client's business. These are some key factors that a food service consultant would bring on the table. What are the skill sets required to become a food service consultant? Very good knowledge of food service and knowledge of your basic engineering skills, experience in hospitality operations, common sense. I would like to highlight this. This is something which is not found in common, because many a times most of your most complicated designs can be solved, or problems can be solved by using basic common sense. Knowledge of codes, be it Indian Building Code, Food Safety Standards Authority of India, HACCP norms, Food Safety Management System norms, knowledge of computer-aided designing skills, CAD, CAM, computer-aided modeling. Some of the specialities that that this food service consultant would probably bring into table are highlighted here. Just for your knowledge, it could lead anything from accounting and finance to food and beverage systems to food safety and hygiene to lead practices, which is green building practices, interior and kitchen design, workshops and education, architectural design, code compliance, culinary development, culinary concept development, feasibility studies, IT systems, laundry and design, legal advice, menu development and menu engineering, space planning, sustainability, waste management, etc., etc. And these are a few of our clients on a couple of projects that we have worked on. We have a few international clients, a few domestic clients. So we've helped them in various gamuts. So yeah, that brings to end of my session. I'm open for questions, and yes, I think I took 40 minutes than 45 that is given to me, so well within the time. So that gives me more time for questions.
Because you're the best facility planner, you also plans the time when appropriate.
Thank you so much for that compliment.
Right from the inception to the completion is very important in the food service design and planning. So I hope you're the right and apt person of the day today.
Well, this topic, to be very honest, Mr. Isaac, is an encyclopedia in itself.
Exactly.
I've just briefly tried to touch upon some very key factors that are considered while you're doing food service design. Try to keep it as simple as possible so that students can grasp as much as they can. Definitely, it's a very interesting field. I'm still learning, being about 10 plus years into food service design. So I'm still learning. I don't say that I know everything. I'm still learning, and we learn from each other. So,
yes, sir. And with this note, we also learning. And at this juncture, we take immense pleasure. We were just thinking and talking about why the name is called as Rahul K.R. Talwar. I thought like Dr. D.R., an engineer, E.R. Now only we thought, we on behalf of SRM Institute of Hotel Management, we take immense pleasure in welcoming your father, Mr. Kishore Talwar. Instead for the Kishore has made it a short, K-E-S-H-O-R, it is K-R.
Well, let me give you a brief background about him. He's the world's first ISO certified numerologist. I get my name from Gautam Buddha's son, Rahul. I was born in Gaya, and that's how my name becomes Rahul, and Talwar being the family name.
Great, sir. Great, sir. So on this behalf, we welcome your father also onto this platform on the virtual. Thank you, sir. I request Stesha to just quickly ask the participants to put the question in the chat box so that the speaker will answer to it. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Now the questionnaire is open. If anyone has any questions, you can post it in the chat box below.
I think Devakar has raised his hand. He can probably type his question in the chat box. So facility planning as a subject, Shrestha, is only in the final year?
He's going to the final year, so this year.
Okay, so is it for 1 semester or 2 semesters?
Facility planning is there for 1 semester. No? So yeah, 1 semester.
1 semester. Okay, so they've cut it short. Back in our days, it was 2 semesters, and it was an interesting subject.
So people don't seem to be posting questions. They're so much in awe of you.
Thank you. I don't know whether it was all clear or it became actually all clear. So that was a snooze from my side for 45 minutes. And yeah, I'm well within the time.
Sir, I'd like to add that you taught me, a small part of this 3 years ago in IHM Chennai.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, like you had addressed my batch. I was in MSc first year back then.
I remember. Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
I have a nice question. When will Nando's be opening again? Well, I don't think that Nando's is going to be coming back to Chennai. Uh, I'm not very sure. I'm not the right person to answer that at this given juncture, uh, because uh, the answers are way out of my control. That I could probably answer that question at the moment.
So there's a question.
Hotel design varies from
Yeah.
restaurant design. Yes, definitely. Hotel design is far more complex than restaurant design. Due to paucity of time, I basically showed a restaurant design in terms of a flow plan. Hotel design is far more complex. You have your staff staff entering area. You have your receiving area. You have your security and time office. You have your HR departments. You have your training departments, learning and development centers. You have your entire purchase department sitting out near the security gate, because you wouldn't want your vendors coming into the hotel complex. That becomes a security issue. Having said that, post that, you have your linen and laundry section. You have your lockers. So it moves in a flow. Uh, from your time office, you would come in to pick up your uniforms, then you would go to your locker. So typically that would be the most ideal flow if the space permits. Otherwise, you would typically go slightly a little round and then probably reach your department. So after you pick up your linen, you change. So your staff lockers are equipped with bath and shower facilities as per the Industrial Act, and there are set number of showers and set number of lockers that need to be provided. All these are governed by building codes or industrial codes, which need to be followed in the design phase itself. Otherwise, you will not get your licenses to operate. That's the most important aspect. Uh, Having said that, post you pick up your, you post you get ready in your locker, you would want to have your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So there's a staff cafeteria, and post that there could be multiple other sections like your kitchens or your room service areas before you actually reach your restaurant, or you reach your housekeeping department, or you reach the front office department. So it's a flow. It's a complex flow. It's all governed, and as per latest food safety norms, you're not supposed to crisscross your path with garbage coming in the same line as well, with the fresh food going in. So all these are factors that need to be kept in mind when you're designing. So yes, a hotel design is far more complex, and it involves a lot more time compared to a restaurant design. Thank you, Mr. Krishnan, for that kind words on the chat box. Restaurant design, sir, is abroad. No, the restaurant design that I showed you was for Chennai. So you have seen various designs. Which design do you like the most? As I said, I projected the design that I worked on with the whole heart. Not that I don't for other projects, but wholeheartedly, time and effort into Nando's. Yes, I think I gave in a lot of time and effort, working for really long hours, but finally bringing out a bespoke project. Yes, and with the entire support of the management back then. Yes, that goes without saying, undoubtedly. Any other
There's the
questions in the
question.
chat box?
You have seen various designs. Which design do you like the most?
As I think I just answered that. Nando's Chennai would be, Cathedral Road would be my most favorite design in terms of space that I've designed. Other than that, yes, being a team member on a lot of projects that I've contributed for, large scale projects, yes, I have my favorites there as well. Wouldn't like to take names at the moment because I'm governed by non-disclosure agreements. Mr. Isaac, I think you're on mute. I'm unable to hear you.
Nando's has a beautiful attraction. It has a huge cage has been set up, so it will attract the people when we go to Cathedral Road rather than going to Chola Sheraton.
Thank you. You put in a lot of effort, time, thought process, right from picking the most minutest material, be it a small light fixture or the pots that came out, or how we mounted the generator in front, because we had to keep the aesthetics of the building in mind, while also keeping in mind the energy requirement in case of power shutdown. So, yeah.
There is the next question, sir. If your friend is going to open a restaurant, which design you will suggest to your friends, sir?
Again, depends on what kind of restaurant that he is wanting to set up. Could you elaborate a little bit more, because this is a very wide a question. I would actually suggest anybody to invest in the heart of the house rather than putting the money into dead investment, which is typically your front of the house areas. People spend a lot of money on the interiors, which actually does not generate any revenue, any considerable revenue. And it is only an expense point after every 3 years. I would actually say that invest in the right machinery and plant, get your back of the house facility updated to the next level, at least think of 5 to 7 years ahead of, and invest in the back of the house so that your most expensive equipments that come in there last you longer, while also they work more efficiently. If you cut on investments in your core area, so if I call if I say that back of the house area, that is actually the most important revenue generating area for the entire premises, because your food is produced there, your staff are working there. And whereas front of the house, the guests are only going to be dining in. So people end up spending a lot on aesthetics. I would say that if given an option, they should invest right in back of the house spaces, be it making it comfortable for employees to work, or investing in the right plant and machinery, be it boilers, be it combi ovens, be it hot plates, or be it the exhaust system.
So there is a question, sir. If your friend is going to open a restaurant like a Buhari or A to B, which design do you suggest?
Again, now Buhari is something which serves only biryani majorly. They do have an a la carte menu, but they are more famous for their chicken 65, for which they had invented back in 1965. Mr. Ahmed Buhari's father had invented the dish. And when it comes to an A to B is more like a South Indian QSR, quick service restaurant. The formats for A to B are currently, the food is being dished out right in front of you, and it's being sent to your table. So again, it depends on the kind of clientele that you're trying to cater to. Again, now when I say the type of clientele, I talk about the demographics of the clientele, right from the age group that you're going to be catering to the kind of cuisine that is required in that specific micro market. Chennai becomes a market, but if I talk about Ananagar becomes a micro market. So Ananagar, what is the kind of population that is there? Is it a predominantly vegetarian population or a non-vegetarian population? What is the average spending power? All these factors need to be considered before I answer that question of yours, whether it's a Buhari or an A to B.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Our director has joined the webinar of 7th webinar. Sir, I welcome you onto this virtual classroom, sir. So we have our Executive Director, Dr. D. Anthony Ashok Kumar for the Hotels and Hotel Management Institute, who has joined us on this great occasion, sir. A true hero is not measured by the size of his strength, but by the strength of his heart. We have a very lovable and very heartful director to always give us support to us. So let us welcome our Executive Director, Dr. D. Anthony Ashok Kumar, on our 7th webinar with a thunderous applause and listen to his precious words. Sir, it's over to you, sir.
Good evening, sir. It's an honor to be on the same panel. You're my senior from the same institution, and
1
we
minute,
are
sir.
both a
There
part
is,
of the
there
Alumni
is,
Association.
Thank you.
I think sir's got muted again.
mute, yes, sir.
Mute. Yes.
Yes, sir, you're audible now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rahul, and I really appreciate. I must congratulate you. We are come from the same college, and it's nice to hear from you. It is required the day of the hour where the students should learn through the screen about your sharing about the restaurant design and flight catering. It's eye-opening for our students, and your thoughtful information will be very much useful. I hope that we must catch up sometime and in person and take it to the students in the next level of expertise from you. You have been traveled throughout the world, and your experience and the exposure will give a very good mileage to a young budding restaurateur or students or chefs in this platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those kind words, sir. I mean,
Yes.
it's definitely an honor being here.
I also appreciate you have a vast knowledge about I've been observing where Mr. David was asking some questions about the design and the local restaurant about the designing. You have been giving a very good input about it. That shows that you have got a vast knowledge in the F&B area.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
to bring it to the director's notice, and he has done signature projects like Mithai Shop Nellore, Javed Kebabs and Curries in Chennai, Pergratium Phase 1 in Chengalpattu, Phase 2 in Chengalpattu, Bistro Story Chennai, Fusili Reasons Chennai, Pleasant Days Resort Chennai, MRLP Nando's Cathedral Road Chennai, Chinese Story Chennai, Naturals Grooms India Saloon and Spa Chennai, Red Box Chennai, Hamsa Adayar Chennai, Buhari Mount Road Chennai, School Chennai, an awesome chef and lunchbox. And he showed a lovely plan to the students. Sir. They had really enjoyed with the plan what he showed, how you should become a consultant, food consultant. It was an amazing session, sir.
No, I hats off to you, Rahul, because I am really proud of you being an IHM alumni. You have designed so many good restaurants. All the restaurants are, flagship restaurant in Chennai and South India. I wish that you have more laurels to come, and wish you all success.
Thank you so much, sir.
So you have 1 minute, so that he will show one of his best plan what we have showed in the PPT.
Sure.
Raghu sir, could you please show to our director, so he'll be
just
immensely happy.
Try and go back on. I think you can see this on your screen.
Yes,
This is the Nando's at
Nando's,
Cathedral
yes.
Road.
Okay. Which is that similar in Singapore? I presume it's the same concept.
Yes, sir. Almost. I mean, yes, the peri peri flame grilled chicken. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Nice.
what
Beautiful
you
rest.
can see on your
Beautiful layout.
screen.
Beautiful layout. Really amazing. What a...
The interiors was done by the architect, sir. I'm not the
Okay,
interiors
no,
person here.
but he has done very, magnificently, and it's a unique kind of a fully wooded theme.
True, sir.
Looks very amazing. The food and ambience should go together. The food also should have usually the concept of the hospitality industry is that food is 50%, the ambience is 50%. Then only it matches the client, perception.
True, sir. I mean, if you look at this has got an Portuguese African influence in terms of its
Okay.
design,
Okay.
and there's a lot of artwork on the wall,
Okay, yes.
and the flame. In terms of the kitchen, the flame grill is prominent as it comes in front.
Okay.
The char grill is visible right here, sir, on your
Yes.
on your screen on the left side.
Yes.
So they believe in cooking it live on the flame and then eating it with their hands. So
Okay.
keeping the eating with hands philosophy they provide for a hand wash sink inside the restaurant, which is open to promote people to eat with hands.
Okay, I think this is I think this concept fit now with the after the COVID, COVID new normal. I think the wash sink should be inside the restaurant. It will be apt design. Now.
True, sir.
Yes.
So, sir,
thank you so much for the opportunity, sir, being a part of the session today.
No, it's eye-opening for us.
I'd like to thank your team and Mr. Isaac and Shrestha for taking care of the session.
Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure.
Thank you, sir. So on behalf of the SRM Institute of Hotel Management, Ekartangal City Campus, we have a huge round of applause for our director through the virtual media. Can we have a huge round of applause for our director for accepting our invitation?
I don't deserve it. Mr.
No, sir, we all
deserve for it.
We already done for him, sir, and we would love to play for
Yes, sir. I've got my share. I think it's your turn now.
Thank you. I appreciate. Beautiful, lively, nice to hear from you, and I wish that we'll catch up sometime. And
sure, sir. Not just the alumni meets, but even otherwise.
Yes. I'll also come to you. Maybe we will think of something doing together for SRM. Yes. Good.
Definitely, sir. Look forward to that.
Yes. Thank you.
Madam is playing the video, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a mutual claps for you, and I hope you really enjoyed, sir. And yes, sir. On behalf of the SRM IHM, and we thank the dynamic speaker. Your presentation drew the attention of the audience in whole and their attention for 1.5 hours. There was never a dull moment. It was a best webinar of the day. You were witty and very informative. I thank, on behalf of our institute, we also thank our director for joining and encouraging us to bring out this institution in more colorful way. And we thank one and all for being a wonderful audience on this great webinar. And this is David Isaac signing off of this webinar. Thank you so much, sir. And also thank Rahul, sir, for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and look forward to being more fruitful and helpful in terms of contributing whatever little I can for the young minds.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Pleasure,
Director, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.